of an environment. An ecosystem can be large, such as a redwood forest, or small, such as... Let's summarize what you've learned about ecosystems. Living and non-living things interact every day. An ecosystem is all the interacting parts of an environment. An ecosystem can be large, such as a redwood forest, or small, such as a pond. All ecosystems are made up of living and non-living things. The living things that shape an ecosystem are called biotic factors. Plants, animals, and microorganisms are biotic factors. The non-living things that shape an ecosystem are called abiotic factors. Temperature, rainfall, snow, ice, sunlight, and soil are abiotic factors. The biotic and abiotic factors of an ecosystem work together. Let's see how they may interact in a pond ecosystem. Many plants find space to live along the water's edge. They get water and nutrients from the soil. Birds use pond plants to make their nests. Frogs feast on the insects they find around the pond. Turtles come to the water's surface to get air and warmth from the sun. There are many desert ecosystems around the world. Some deserts are hot, others are cold. Some are home to many living things. Others are almost lifeless. The Mojave Desert in California is a hot desert. It is home to hundreds of plants and animals. Each one must live on very little water. Why? The Mojave Desert gets an average of only 13 centimeters, or 5 inches, of rain each year. Deserts like the Mojave are home to many animals. They survive well in desert conditions. The fennec fox, for example, gets most of the water it needs from the food it eats. It can also go without water for a long time. The small animal lives in a hole, or burrow, under the ground. It stays there during the hot days and comes out at night for food. The desert tortoise also spends most of its time underground. This protects the tortoise from the harsh temperature changes of the desert. In summer, temperatures can reach 120 degrees Fahrenheit or 49 degrees Celsius during the day. They can drop below 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius at night. A tropical rainforest can get up to 457 centimeters or 180 inches of rain each year. The soil is very thin and poor in nutrients. However, there is more life here than any place on Earth. Rainforests cover less than 6% of Earth's surface, yet they are home to 50 to 70% of all life on Earth. The tall trees of the rainforest give the ecosystem different layers. The tops of the tallest trees are called the emergent layer. This layer gets a lot of sunlight but also can have high temperatures and winds. Just below the emergent layer of the rainforest is the canopy. Most rainforest animals live here because there is a lot of sunlight and food. Snakes, tree frogs, and toucans can be found in this layer. The understory is the area beneath the canopy. Not much sunlight reaches this layer because the canopy provides so much shade. Leopards, jaguars, frogs, and many insects live in the understory. The forest floor is even darker than the understory level. Not many plants can grow here because there is very little sunlight. Decomposers work quickly in this layer. Coral reefs can be found in warm, shallow water. They are often in tropical areas. The water in these ecosystems usually stays between 70 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 and 29 degrees Celsius all year. This temperature range allows many fish and eels to live here. Coral reefs are formed from organisms that are no longer living. Coral polyps are tiny animals that live in large groups. When they die, they leave behind hard skeletons that form coral reefs. The reefs are home to many ocean animals. Although coral polyps were once living, coral is an abiotic factor of the reef ecosystem. The living and non-living things that interact in an environment make up an ecosystem. Ecosystems are identified by their biotic and abiotic factors. Deserts, rainforests, and coral reefs are just a few examples of ecosystems. Each has a different climate, soil, and organisms. How can you identify what kind of ecosystem you are in? You can tell what ecosystem you are in by looking at its biotic and abiotic factors. Fill in the blank with the correct word. All the interacting parts of an environment make up blank. What are the roles of abiotic and biotic factors in an environment? Abiotic factors are non-living things. Biotic factors are living things. Living and non-living things shape an ecosystem. Is the following statement true or false? All desert ecosystems are hot and dry. All desert ecosystems are hot and dry. All desert ecosystems are hot and dry. Write about an abiotic factor in the ecosystem where you live. How does it affect the biotic factors in your